What's up, guys? So now that you saw a quick physique check-in 1 week out, we're going to do something a little bit different this time. This video, it's going to be more of a mindset / mental check-in, I guess you could call it, with some Q&A with about, I think, 5 or 6 questions that are like some common questions that I've been asked. And just to share with you guys a little bit of insight into what's going on inside my head, what my mindset and mind frame is like, and how I handle heading into the Olympia, the pressure, the excitement, the hype, and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna get into the first question right now. So for me, the final week is my mindset and my mind frame. I always try to not focus on the outcome of the show, not focus on stepping on stage, not even think about it until it's Saturday, until I'm about to step on stage, until I'm backstage, just because I don't want to let the excitement, the hype, the nerves, the adrenaline, the anxiousness, any of that to get into my head and to kind of affect my focus and get me out of that mental zen and peaceful mental space that I've created for myself. So that's super important for me, just to keep that mental peace and like keep it quiet inside my head until I get backstage. And until then, I just block out the noise. I just focus on what I have to do each and every day. Try not to look too far ahead and get overwhelmed with, being 6 days out or 7 days out. And of course, I'm not naive to how far out I am. I know the days, but I'm not looking at, next Saturday I'm going to be on stage and like thinking about the outcome, win or lose. That's not what's in my mind. I try to stay as far away from that as possible and just focus on today. What do I have to do? And when I'm backstage, then I will get excited to compete. But until then, the work's not done. There's still stuff that I have to do, and I don't want to lose that focus, like I said. So even the other day, Mark was like, "Are you excited?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And he was like talking about it, and I was like, sorry, but like I just don't want to talk about the show until it's here. And my sister said the same thing to me, and I was like, yeah, I just don't really want to talk about the show until it's here. And anyone around me knows I'm always like that. The final week, I don't want to talk about it or anything like that. I just want to get the work done and get there, and then we can talk about it. But until we get there, we're gonna act like it's just a normal week, because stress is the #1 thing that can hurt your physique and your mindset. And if you go into that week with like a chaotic mind, it's hard to keep your body at its best. So for me, keeping that peaceful mindset is the #1 thing for me. The final week is just keeping it calm, keeping it zen, staying out of the mix, staying out of the craziness, the hype, the energy, the excitement, until I'm right there. So yes, so I think no matter how many times you've competed, no matter what level you compete at, no matter who you are, I think we all still get nervous, and that's just because we care so much and there's so much passion and emotion involved in it, because there's so much time, blood, sweat, and tears invested into the prep. So I think the nerves never really go away no matter what, but I do try and channel those nerves into positive energy, into adrenaline and excitement for when I step on stage, because you don't want to feel like this going on stage, because you need that adrenaline to perform. You need that energy, that excitement, but you also don't want to let the nerves hinder you or hurt you where, it just paralyzes you with fear. So I try to, like I said, block everything out until I get there. I find I don't really get nervous. Usually at 6-7 weeks out, I have a little freak out. Kind of like, that's when your physique is like soft, but like you're not super lean yet, but like you kind of look flat, and you just like, it's just one of those points you gotta trust the process. This year I didn't have that freak out then, but not gonna lie, the past few days I have been in my head a little bit, just because I feel like that clock ticking and that it's coming closer, and just like, am I ready? And I know that I'm ready, so I just have to block those thoughts out. So the nerves, I don't think ever go away, but you can utilize them to your advantage to use it as excitement and adrenaline. For me, I think when I get the most nervous is not like the week of the show, because again, I try and just not even think about it, so I don't even give myself the chance to get nervous about it. I just do what I have to do. I get the most nervous when I'm backstage, like right about to step up on those stairs, like lined up to go on the stairs. That for me, even just thinking about it, is like, I'm sweating right now. That's like the most nervous part for me, just because it's a mixture of so much adrenaline and nerves and excitement. And then once my foot hits the floor of the stage, I'm good to go and I'm fine. So I just kind of have to be like, and then take a step out and perform once I'm on stage. And prior to that, I don't really get too nervous. Like the days leading up prior, again, I don't really think about the show, so I don't get nervous. The morning of the show is just stressful because there's so much to get done and you don't want to be late, but I don't think it's nerves. It's just more like stress because you're on a time restraint. or backstage when they start to call out, okay, like bikini, let's line up, get glazed. Like sometimes that like stresses me out because then it's like, ah, let's go. But you always have a lot more time from when they call it because they call it early. But yeah, to combat the nerves, I think just use it to your advantage. Like I said, try and block out any thoughts about the show until you're actually at the show. Don't even think about competing. Like even if you're at the hotel, you've traveled for a show, you're just there to do the work. Every day you have work that has to get done. You got to check off your boxes. And when you step on stage, then you can use that nerves and turn it into adrenaline. But until then, just don't even think about it. Just focus on right now what you have to do. Oh my gosh, everything. Like Olympia weekend is just always and forever will be a dream come true for me to step on that stage. So it's just so surreal. Like there's so much energy and excitement to soak up that weekend, from all the way from like the beginning of the week, even now, like there's so much excitement going on in Vegas. But the number one thing that I'm most excited for is stepping on the expo stage. There is nothing like that energy. It's just like, I just get chills thinking about it because there's just so much adrenaline and energy and excitement. And like you just look out and see like thousands of people in the crowd who are like cheering and screaming. And the finals, of course, there's that energy too, but I just feel like the expo stage prejudging is just the maximum amount of energy you could ever feel stepping on stage. And that for me is, I love the expo stage. I love it so much. I cannot wait to step on the expo stage again and just feel all that energy, because I just get to feed off of the crowd's energy. So if you guys are gonna be there, scream loud and I can feed off all your energy to perform at my best. But yeah, I really just love the expo energy when I'm on that stage. Is my number one thing that I'm most excited for. But of course, just the entire weekend, just to soak it up, because it's been 14 months since Olympia last year, since I've been on stage. So I'm just excited to get on stage, show off my hard work, show off the improvements. But the expo stage, that energy is unmatched. This is the number one most asked question that I've gotten this year. Like, do you feel like there's a lot of pressure? Like, oh, there must be so much pressure on you. And to be completely honest, I feel like, and I'm speaking up until this point, obviously, this prep, I feel like there's actually been a lot less pressure than I expected, and less pressure than any other prep that I've done, to be honest. And I think it's just because I'm so confident in the improvements that I made and the physique that I'm bringing and who I am and what I bring to the stage, and what I represent on stage, that I'm not really concerned with anything else. And I don't see that pressure as a negative pressure. I think it's just been a lot of positive pressure, like a lot of support. You guys have been absolutely incredible with the outpouring of love, support, motivation, and inspiration that you guys have shown me online. So thank you guys for that. And yeah, I don't know if I haven't really felt a ton of pressure yet. And I was like, I kept saying this prep, like I'm sure I will, because of course, like defending the title, you have something to lose, versus last year, you know, I had nothing to lose. I only had something to gain, is because I was 10th and I was 5th and I was 2nd. So the only thing I had was to gain. And now obviously I have something to lose with going in to defend my title. But to be honest, I'm not even thinking about the outcome of the show, like win or lose. It's not even been put into my head. I've just been thinking of the work that I put in. I know since I stepped off stage last year, I made every single day count. I did not take this off season lightly. Every single workout, I didn't miss a cardio session. Every single workout had a purpose and had an intention. And now I get to see all of that work pay off now that I'm ready at this point. So I think I'm just more excited than anything just to get back on stage and show off the improvements, that's blocking out any of the pressure that might be there. So yeah, I don't really feel too much pressure yet, but I'm not gonna lie, the past few days I definitely feel like as the clock is ticking, I do kind of feel it like closing in on me with a little bit more pressure. And I'm sure once I'm there, I'm gonna feel the pressure. But at the same time, even though obviously there's something to lose, I know what I'm bringing to the stage and the improvements. And for me, I can compare my physique to last year and I look 100 times better than I did on stage. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. That's more important to me than anything else, because I wouldn't want to win the Olympia not looking better, or win the Olympia because, you know, it wasn't a strong lineup, or someone wasn't at their best. So this year I know it's the biggest lineup, it's the strongest lineup. Every single one of the top contenders is bringing their absolute A game, their number one. Like, everyone is on their game this year, myself included. So I'm not worried about anyone else. I'm just focused on myself, because I really don't care to beat anyone else. It's just me versus me. The only person I'm focused on is myself, and I think that's why I haven't felt the pressure, is because I'm not even looking at anyone else, you know. I know everyone looks great, but I also know I look great, and that's all that matters to me. So yeah. I mean, I think a lot changes with that title, just with the responsibility that you have to the organization and, you know, representing yourself as Miss Olympia. But that's kind of what my focus has been this past year, just every day living as if, what would Miss Olympia do? What would a champion do? So I feel like I embody that in my everyday life. So don't make me cry. What the heck? I'm already emotional this week. You have a big responsibility to people. And that you represent the sport. So this is 2020.
So I asked you that question in 2020. What would change for you if you won? And looking back at that video, like, what has changed? Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to get all emotional here and cry. Can't ruin my fresh little lashes. I think the biggest thing for me is just seeing the impact that I get to have on so many people and the magnitude of the people that I can reach and inspire. And for me, that just inspires me to be my best self, my best athlete, my best human all around. And not just being a good athlete, but a good person, and, you know, sharing that message that you have to stay true to who you are and not let anything get to your head or change who you are. You know, I'm the same person that I've always been since day one of my amateur days, and I'm gonna always stay true to that because it's something that's important to me. So I am very proud of the accomplishment of winning Miss Bikini Olympia, although it's not my identity. You know, who I am as Jennifer Dorie is separate from that, because I know there's so much more to me than just being Miss Bikini Olympia, and it's something that I'm extremely proud of, that I know I've worked really hard for, and that I really carry with a high responsibility to be a good ambassador for the sport, and, you know, to set a good example and to inspire those who are coming up in the sport, and for the young girls who are getting into the sport, you know, to show the right way to do things, because there's always a lot of stuff out there on the internet. And I just want to set a good example for, again, like, the right way to do things, and to be a good ambassador for the sport, to be a good person, to be a good human, and just to strive to be your best self. And that it's not going to be a straight road to success, because if you guys saw last year, for me, for example, I didn't win my first show back, Tampa. I placed third there, and then I won Nashville, and then I won the Arnold, and then I won the Olympia. So it's, if you lose, just get back up and keep going, because had I have stayed down after Tampa, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So it's just like, you just can never give up, no matter, like, oh my goodness. Oh, fuck. You guys don't understand. I'm so emotional this week because I'm getting my period any day now, and it's peak week, and I'm just like, peak week for me is super emotional, just because I just feel like the passion and the emotion of how much hard work I put into the preps, and looking back at how far I've come and how much I've grown as a person, as an athlete, and just really proud of staying true to my core values and who I am. And obviously I'm grateful for the people around me who have helped me to get to where I am, so never forgetting where I came from and the people who helped me get here. But just never giving up and never doubting yourself, because if you want to achieve something, you can achieve whatever that might be, as long as you're willing to work for it, as long as you believe in yourself. And you just can't let any of the naysayers get in your head, because there's going to be lots of them. There's going to be tons of people, and you just have to block that out. Focus on the people who believe in you, stick with those people, and just put in the work every day and do the best that you can.